One of the pros of being up early to see trains are the sunrises. This morning's warm colors find me heading east towards Lakeland and south into the Bone Valley. Today I'm meeting up with my friend Cooper out of Northport to check up on the Bone Valley improvements and to see what trains we can find in the process. Driving south from Lakeland on State Road 37, we'd meet in Mulberry and continue from there, although we wouldn't get far. Setting up at Schoolhouse Road, we're on the 5-mile stretch of the Lakeland sub that runs between Winston and Prairie Yard in Mulberry. The signal Tancrete is just south of us, and it'd be lit for a southbound local out of Winston. Our train would be L770, the daily Mulberry switcher, today with the solo ES40DC leading long hood forward. .770, along with being the area switcher, is also shuttle traffic between Winston and Mulberry, today carrying rock, grain, and limestone, along with lumber to add to the consist bound for Seminole Gulf's line down in Arcadia. A decision was made here to head down to Ag Rock, as Cooper had seen Mosaic's empty shuttle train earlier in the morning, so we knew they'd have to come back soon with a loaded train. Although CSX takes care of almost all the phosphate traffic down here, Mosaic and its 11-mile line still operates down in Ag Rock. Fort Meade also sees Mosaic rail traffic, although that's all in the woods and out of sight from public property. Ag Rock is the location of CSX's transfer yard with Mosaic, as the mine is actually 8 miles away at Four Corners. There, raw phosphate is scooped out of the ground and mixed with water to make a slurry known as matrix. This muddy mixture is then sent through pipes to the loader and carefully dumped into rail cars. Mosaic takes care of this using a couple of end cab switchers for the loading process. Once complete, they'll hook up a pair of their Jeep 38s and take the train down to Ag Rock, passing State Road 37 in the process, which is where we're set up and waiting. It would take exactly 4 hours from the time the empty train passed for the loaded haul to appear, today 11:30 on the dot. This would be my first time ever seeing these guys running, and it would be well worth the hour-plus wait. Mosaic would have a pretty good train on them today, bound for CSX. This cut will be picked up later in Ag Rock by trains like B339 or B341. Wet rock phosphate jobs that can either take these cars to the port or to New Wales or Ridgewood, both Mosaic processing plants that use the raw phosphate to create diammonium phosphate, which makes up those unit phosphate trains that are sent from here up north. On this hot, quiet Bone Valley day, improvements along the aging lines are made evident. At Mulberry, the signals guarding the diamond in downtown still stand, although they're the last of their kind. At the Y, new signals have been installed, wired up, and lit on all 3 sides. These signals are a lot better than the old seaboard lights, capable of displaying more accurate signal indications for slow speeds. However, it's always a bit sad to see the old ones go. Joining the replacements at the Y and at IMC is also the Ridgewood ABS signal. This is the halfway point between the south leg of Mulberry Y and Mosaic's Ridgewood plant, seen with USNS lights for decades, now replaced by another Safe Train installment. Track maintenance is also obvious down here, with new ties, plates, and spikes all around. I'd find L770 from earlier now at the Limehouse, where on this Valrico sub, piles of old ties litter the right-of-way. This is routine for railroads to do, but it's nice to see that CSX is keeping these lines in shape, even with their low amount of traffic. Today's operation at the Limehouse would be easy, pulling out 5 cars from Mulberry and spotting a handful of loads at the loader. First out would be the empties, so 770's conductor lines the switch for the spur and removes the derail. Now the engineer can slowly enter the spur and couple onto their cars down there in the industry's long spur track.
Clear crossing, lots of flashing gates are down, bring it ahead, 6 cars, 6, over. That's cool, looking up for that derail. Derail's down. Derail is down, huh? Somewhere you need to shove to clear of that 11 over?
Out come the empties, and after clearing the road for a minute or so for traffic to continue through, 770 backs his train onto the main, leaving behind the empties.
Maybe it was you.
Maybe. No plate on it. 3 cars, 3. 2 now, 2.
Finally, the train enters the spur again, and now drops their entire train, leaving with just their engine.
Still good for 5. Right, and they head to the derail, over.
Away from the friendly conductor would send us back into town, but I'd stop off at the Y to get 770 now backing into Mulberry Yard.
Y'all could've gave me a ride.
Port of the crossing. Lots of flashing, gates are coming down, bring it ahead, 20 cars to a couple, 2-0. 15 cars to a couple, 1-5.
7 miles north in Lakeland, lots is underway as well. At Winston, Cemex's plant is now under construction with land leveled and prepped by shipping in mounds of dirt and sand. A switch has been installed on the south leg of Winston Y to presumably serve the plant, expected to be switched almost every day by a yard job. While only 1 track has been laid here, it looks like this will be a 2 or maybe 3 track industry, depending of course on how busy they expect to be over here. With nothing here, I'd head north up the Vitus sub to check on the I-4 construction, but a completed Fairbanks road would catch my eye first. Blocked off ever since I started coming here, Fairbanks now connects with Wabash up from Winston, opening the crossing of Owens Corning and their spur that breaks out around 10th Street. The once inaccessible spur is now in plain sight, with area to park right next to the tracks. I'll have to come back here earlier in the day next time, as this industry is switched daily by L762 or a yard job out of Winston. North at Bella Vista Road, the second main and its bridge over Interstate 4 has made progress the past couple months, with the south side embankment now complete and crews working on the north side of the bridge now. Foundations are also in on the south side, and ballast laid right up to the underpass. There's still lots to do, but I'm glad the process is now more visible than ever. It had been quiet all day, so when I heard the Vitus DD go off announcing a southbound, I'd push north to Kathleen, where the signal would be green. This is the backwoods Vitus sub. Between here at Kathleen and Lumberton, there's not one single crossing on this perfectly straight line of a track, making the speed limit here for trains 60 miles an hour. The siding, just 2 miles north of us at Stokes, also has a defect detector, and of course, CP Kathleen, a signal that's been here since the ACL days. Although it too is a safe train installment, it still governs trains like M453, coming down the hill with a full head of steam. 453 would need permission by I-4 before proceeding south to Lakeland Junction, where it'll stop for a crew change. 453 and 452 rarely switch Winston now, instead stopping at Lakeland for a crew change, the junction for 453 and 10th Street for 452. With I-4 unsurprisingly being a mess like it always is in the afternoon, I'd start west towards home on Night Station Road, a 2-lane highway through the Lower Green Swamp Nature Preserve. A very nice drive in the afternoon, and a direct route to the SAL's main at nights. It's not terribly common to get daylight trains around here outside of locals, so when I saw the night's ABS signal was lit up with a green, I'd pull off quickly and find a spot. This is the Yeoman sub out of Tampa, which underwent a massive revamp about a decade ago with new track on concrete ties, a new siding at nights, and higher speeds by extension of heavier rail. Trains like B631, now 10 years later, still roll south comfortably along the seaboard's main, this one in particular with ethanol for the port of Tampa and the gasoline terminals there.
631 clear, south end nights is 6838 southbound. CSX Equipment Defect Detector. Milepost 818.9er.
631 would send me home happy, after not a busy day out, but a good one at that. Part of rail fanning sometimes isn't just seeing trains or special power, but it's also about the nature, the towns, and the infrastructure you see along the way. I hope this video followed that theme somewhat well. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below. But until we meet again soon trackside, this is Christian from Multicolor Films. End of transmission.
CSX Equipment Defect Detector. Milepost 818.9er. No defects. No defects. Total axle 426. End of transmission.